You don't need 10 grand to ride something that turns heads. These brand new motorcycles cost less than 2,000 bucks, and they're actually worth riding. From real-world reliability to old-school simplicity, these bikes are changing the game. Watch until the end, because number 1 might just change your mind forever. Number 7. Bashan Storm 250. Built with backbone and nothing else, this bike proves that simple can still be strong. That's the kind of ride the Storm offers. It speaks to men who remember what motorcycles used to feel like. Mechanical, honest, and built with purpose, not pretense. With its upright stance, spoked wheels, and stripped-down design, it doesn't try to emulate anything modern. It proudly wears its throwback styling like a badge, offering real-world comfort and familiarity without overcomplicating the ride. This machine produces 16 horsepower from its 229 cubic centimeter air-cooled single-cylinder engine. Torque comes in at 15 pound-feet, enough to push the lightweight chassis through city streets or winding back roads with confident grunt. Stopping is handled by hydraulic disc brakes, both front and rear, while the suspension setup includes traditional telescopic forks up front and dual coilover shocks in the rear. The wet weight comes in at 285 pounds, and the seat height is a rider-friendly 31.5 inches. Starting price sits at approximately $1,795, making it one of the most accessible bikes in this class. What sets the Storm apart isn't one flashy feature, it's the total package. There are no digital screens, no ride modes, no sound system, just a clean analog speedometer and a bare cockpit that reminds riders what matters most. The controls feel familiar, the steel frame feels sturdy, and the entire platform feels built for a generation of riders who'd rather spend Sunday morning tuning a carburetor than scrolling through touchscreen menus. For riders like Tommy from Ohio, that simplicity hits home. I bought the Storm after my divorce, needed something to wrench on, clear my head. 2 years in, still starts every morning. No screens, no BS, just the road, me, and a damn good carb. The styling deserves more than a passing mention. From the round headlamp to the slim fuel tank and the classic UJM silhouette, it's a bike that wouldn't look out of place parked next to a 1982 Standard. The visual simplicity is more than nostalgia. It's a declaration. This is a motorcycle for men who rode before things got complicated. It's a deliberate rejection of plastic panels, aggressive angles, and technology for technology's sake. Yet the Storm isn't just old-fashioned, it's practical. The suspension is firm enough to feel planted on highway curves, but soft enough to take the sting out of patched roads and gravel driveways. The torque comes in early where most riders live, and the riding position, natural and upright, makes long hauls just as comfortable as short commutes. It's also a surprisingly smooth ride. Keep the oil fresh and the chain adjusted, and the engine hums with a kind of quiet confidence. In an age of motorcycles that try to be everything at once, the Storm succeeds by doing only what matters, and doing it well. It's not for showing off, it's for showing up. Whether you're heading to the hardware store, cruising a 2-lane road, or taking the long way home from work, this motorcycle keeps you grounded in what made riding great in the first place. There's a certain kind of motorcycle that doesn't beg for attention. It earns it mile by mile. The Storm offers a ride that speaks to men who remember what motorcycles used to feel like. Mechanical, honest, and built with purpose, not pretense. If one of these bikes caught you off guard or you've owned one, hit that like button. Let us know in the comments which one you trust in your own garage. We read every reply and respect real rider opinions. Number 6. Tao Motor TBR 7250. This isn't a motorcycle for showroom floors, it's for men who ride rain or shine, paycheck to paycheck. The TBR7 falls firmly into that second category. This is a machine designed for the kind of rider who wakes up before dawn, sharpens his tools, and doesn't care if the road ahead is paved or not. It's the motorcycle equivalent of a good set of work boots, rugged, unpretentious, and built to take a beating. Whether you're cruising through town or cutting across backcountry gravel, it answers the call without complaint. Manny from New Mexico puts it plainly. Used to ride a beat-up XR as a teen. Bought the TBR7 with cash after my layoff. Now I commute dirt trails to work and back every day, rain or shine. Power comes from a 229 cubic centimeter air-cooled single-cylinder engine, delivering 16 horsepower and 15.5 pound-feet of torque. Braking is managed by a front hydraulic disc and a rear drum, while the suspension includes long-travel telescopic forks up front and dual coilover shocks in the rear. The wet weight clocks in at 287 pounds with a seat height of 34 inches. The starting price lands at $1,895, placing it comfortably in reach for budget-conscious riders looking for maximum utility. What makes the TBR7 stand out isn't refinement, it's resilience. This bike doesn't come with Bluetooth, a ride mode selector, or even a digital dash. It doesn't need them. What it does have is a tough steel frame, a traditional carburetor setup that anyone with a wrench can tune, and a backup kickstarter for those cold mornings when electricity lets you down. This bike doesn't whisper refinement, it growls reliability. The overall feel of the ride leans into its purpose. The gearing is wide enough to handle street speed while giving enough low-end pull to climb rough terrain or crawl through city traffic. It won't win any races, but it never feels like it's struggling to keep up either. And when the pavement ends, it only gets better. Durability is where the TBR7 quietly outperforms expectations. Owners often report riding for thousands of miles with nothing more than routine maintenance, oil, chain, and tires. It's a machine that rewards attention with reliability and doesn't punish you if you miss a wash or two. In fact, it looks better with a little dirt on it. The minimalist controls and analog gauges are refreshingly straightforward. There's no learning curve, just turn the key, push the button, or use the Kickstarter and go. The luggage rack in the back isn't ornamental. It's ready for gear, groceries, or a strapped-down toolbox. And with parts readily available online, it's one of the easiest motorcycles in its class to maintain. For riders who value practicality over polish, the TBR7 delivers exactly what they're looking for. A dependable partner on two wheels that doesn't flinch at hard use. It's the kind of bike that never leaves you stranded, never asks for much, and always shows up when you need it most. If motorcycles could talk, this one would say, "Let's get to work." Need gear that matches a $2,000 budget? Hit the description. Everything's vetted, rider approved, and priced to keep your wallet as light as your bike. Number 5. CSCTT 250. When the road stretches far and parts get scarce, only one name keeps showing up in rider circles. For riders who want a motorcycle that starts every time, gets the job done, and never leaves them wondering where the support is, the TT is a name that keeps coming up. Built with a no-nonsense approach and backed by real people in the United States, this is the kind of bike that doesn't need to boast. It just delivers year after year, ride after ride. Underneath the tank is a 229 cubic centimeter air-cooled single-cylinder engine producing 16.1 horsepower and 15.5 pound-feet of torque. It features hydraulic disc brakes at both the front and rear, a telescopic fork up front, and a rear monoshock with adjustable preload. The wet weight measures in at 277 pounds, and the seat height stands at a tall 34 inches. The starting price is $2,195, which includes delivery within the continental United States. An added benefit few competitors match. The TT isn't flashy, but it's built right. It's assembled overseas by one of the largest engine manufacturers in the world and imported by California Scooter Company, a business that stocks every part, offers technical support, and actually answers the phone when you need help. That kind of access is rare in this price range. You're not left scouring the internet or waiting months for parts to arrive from halfway across the globe. If something breaks, help is local and fast. A seasoned rider in Montana shares his take, "I've put over 8,000 miles on mine, mostly back roads and logging trails. When I cracked a lever, CSC shipped the part in 2 days. Can't say that about most big-name bikes." On the road, the TT performs with a quiet confidence. The power delivery is smooth, and the 5-speed manual transmission offers enough range for both city commutes and gravel trails. With long travel suspension and a tall seat height, it's well suited to rural riders, off-road routes, and anyone who values ground clearance over low stands. While not ideal for shorter riders, those with longer inseams will appreciate the upright posture and natural riding ergonomics. One of the most appealing aspects of the TT is how approachable it is for hands-on owners. It doesn't rely on a maze of sensors or electronic assistance. Routine maintenance is straightforward. Oil changes, valve adjustments, and chain service can be done in a home garage with basic tools. That makes it especially attractive to seasoned riders who still enjoy wrenching on weekends or just want the peace of mind that comes with mechanical simplicity. Visually, the bike sticks to the classic dual sport formula. A square headlamp, high fender, slim bodywork, and rear cargo rack all contribute to a utilitarian design. It's not trying to win beauty contests, it's trying to haul gear down a dusty back road or bring you home safely from a job site. The digital instrument panel provides only the essentials: speed, trip meter, and fuel level. Just enough to keep you informed and nothing more. In a world of disposable machines and marketing gimmicks, the TT offers something more valuable: trust. Riders know what they're getting with this motorcycle. A reliable engine supported by a real company and built with simplicity in mind. Trust doesn't come easy in the motorcycle world, but this one earns it. For riders who want a motorcycle that starts every time, gets the job done, and never leaves them wondering where the support is, the TT is a name that keeps coming up. Number 4. Venom Ghost. 250. Sometimes you don't want the spotlight. You want a long stretch of road, a low seat, and a bike that keeps your mind quiet. That's what the Ghost offers. Built to echo the shape and stance of classic American cruisers, this motorcycle delivers clean lines, a muscular silhouette, and just enough chrome to catch your eye without being loud about it. It's made for riders who care more about the ride than the brand stitched on the tank. Powering the bike is a 250 cubic centimeter air-cooled single-cylinder engine making 16 horsepower and 15.1 pound-feet of torque. Braking is handled by a front hydraulic disc and a rear drum system. Up-front telescopic forks take on the bumps, while the rear suspension uses twin coilover shocks. It weighs in wet at 287 pounds and carries a low seat height of 28 inches. The starting price lands right around $1,899, keeping it well under the threshold while delivering full-sized cruiser feel. The Ghost isn't about performance specs or peak numbers, it's about feel. When you sit down on that wide stepped seat and reach for the pullback bars, everything feels like it belongs. The engine fires up with a steady thump, and the 5-speed manual transmission moves through gears with a classic mechanical click. Whether you're cruising down a back road or winding through town, the bike remains stable, easy to handle, and relaxed in its attitude. This motorcycle shines where it counts. The steel frame gives it a solid planted feel that plastic-heavy competitors simply can't match. The tank is teardrop-shaped and cleanly painted, while the fenders ride low over thick tires that fill the frame just right. The analog gauges are simple and legible. You won't find touchscreen navigation or adjustable ride modes here, just a speedometer, a fuel gauge, and a key that turns the engine over every time you ask it to. The low stance and lightweight make this motorcycle an especially good match for older riders returning to two wheels or newer riders looking for a comfortable first cruiser. The relaxed geometry makes low-speed maneuvering easy, while the engine's broad, torquey curve means you're never left searching for power in stop-and-go traffic. It's forgiving when it needs to be and just firm enough to feel planted and confident. You won't need to hunt for complicated parts or decipher a maze of wires to service this bike. It's simple, mechanical, and built with access in mind. For riders who prefer to do their own oil changes or adjustments, the Ghost offers the kind of garage friendliness that modern machines often lack. Number 3. Lifan K-P Mini 150. Strip away the bulk and what's left. A lean, tough little machine that punches far above its class. The KP Mini doesn't try to be something it's not, but what it does offer is a pure stripped-down riding experience built on smart engineering and real performance. For riders who appreciate the basics, who enjoy throwing a leg over a bike that just works without any fuss, this motorcycle delivers in a big way. Power is delivered through a 149 cubic centimeter air-cooled single-cylinder engine, producing 12 horsepower and 9.5 pound-feet of torque. Braking comes from hydraulic disc brakes, both front and rear, and the suspension setup includes an inverted front fork and a rear monoshock. The wet weight is 240 pounds, the seat height stands at 31 inches, and the starting price comes in at $1,750. It's one of the few mini-sized motorcycles offering real-world durability at this price point. The KP Mini is not a toy. It's a scaled-down machine for grown riders who want something nimble, responsive, and surprisingly stable in day-to-day use. This isn't a beginner-only platform. With a 5-speed manual transmission and a well-balanced frame, it rewards confident throttle control and knows how to hold its line through corners. The bike feels tight, not twitchy, with handling that inspires trust from the first ride to the 100th. What sets this machine apart is how it carries itself. While other mini bikes lean heavily into novelty or sacrifice ride quality for styling, this one does the opposite. The inverted fork up front adds a surprising level of control over rough roads, and the monoshock rear setup gives it a balanced, planted feel even when pushed. The frame welds are clean, the fitment is solid, and there's none of the rattle or looseness often found in budget-level motorcycles. It's built to be ridden, not just looked at. Visually, the KP Mini holds its own with clean proportions, modern lines, and compact muscularity. Its footprint might be smaller, but it doesn't come off as undersized. Riders over 6 feet tall have praised its comfort, noting that it doesn't feel cramped or compromised. The mid-mounted pegs and upright bars provide a natural, neutral position that makes city riding feel effortless, even in stop-and-go traffic. Another win is the instrumentation. A clear digital display offers easy readouts for speed, fuel level, engine revolutions, and gear position. There's even a fuel gauge, a feature oddly missing on far more expensive motorcycles. Add in a simple switchgear layout and a durable steel frame, and you've got a mini machine with major appeal. For older riders who may have spent their younger years on standard bikes with metal tanks and analog controls, the KP Mini feels oddly familiar. Big performance doesn't always come in a big package. The KP Mini doesn't try to be something it's not, but what it does offer is a pure, stripped-down riding experience built on smart engineering and real performance. Number 2. RPS Hawk 250D LX. Out where the asphalt crumbles and gravel takes over, this bike doesn't flinch. It flies. Some are built for the dirt, the back roads, and the stretches of gravel most riders avoid. The Hawk is one of those bikes. With a tall stance, rugged frame, and purpose-first design, it's the kind of machine you ride out past the edge of town, where cell service fades and the road turns rough. This is a tool for riders who take pride in self-reliance, where performance is measured not by badges, but by how far you can get before turning back. At the heart of this machine is a 250 cubic centimeter air-cooled single-cylinder engine producing 17 horsepower and 16.5 pound-feet of torque. Braking is handled by hydraulic disc brakes at both the front and rear, with a suspension system that includes telescopic front forks and a rear monoshock. The wet weight tips the scale at 292 pounds, while the seat height comes in at 34 inches. Starting price lands at roughly $1,900, making it one of the most affordable full-size dual-sport motorcycles on the market. The Hawk is a bike that looks the part and lives up to it. With oversized knobby tires on spoke wheels, extended fork travel, and a tall upright frame geometry, it's built to handle terrain that would rattle smaller bikes apart. But it's not just for the trail. On pavement, the gearing is spaced out just enough to handle suburban riding and country highways. You won't be setting speed records, but you will feel in control, whether you're dodging potholes or skimming over fire roads. This machine is often favored by riders who want simplicity and toughness in equal measure. Its carburetor setup may not be as modern as fuel injection, but it offers a level of mechanical control that seasoned riders appreciate. A digital ignition system gives it faster starts and more reliable throttle response, even in colder weather. The dual sport frame is all steel, the plastics are reinforced, and everything about the design feels unapologetically utilitarian. Visually, the Hawk makes an impression. Its tall profile, flared fenders, and aggressive lines wouldn't look out of place next to adventure bikes costing 4 times as much. It doesn't dress up for showrooms. It comes ready to ride. The digital dash offers readouts for speed, fuel, engine revolutions, and gear position, all in a format that's easy to read even in sunlight. There's no unnecessary styling, no decorative trim, just a bike that looks ready for the work it was built to do. The seat is firm but forgiving, giving taller riders a natural upright posture and the kind of control needed for uneven trails. Shorter riders may find the height challenging at first, but for those who ride standing up or value off-road clearance, it's exactly where it needs to be. Add in strong braking, wide bars, and decent load capacity, and you've got a motorcycle that's as capable on rural errands as it is on weekend trail rides. Out where the pavement ends and the dirt kicks up, that's where this one shines. Not every motorcycle is built for chrome and concrete. Some are built for the dirt, the back roads, and the stretches of gravel most riders avoid. The Hawk is one of those bikes. If you're still watching, you're the kind of rider we build this channel for. Hit subscribe, join the community, and don't miss what's coming next. We're here for working riders, not showroom flash. Number 1. Lifan X-Pec to 200. You don't need bells, whistles, or brand badges when the machine does exactly what it's built to do. They're not built to impress crowds or compete in showrooms. They're built to run, to ride, and to last. And that's exactly why the X-Pec has earned the top spot on this list. It takes the no-nonsense reliability of a workhorse and combines it with modern upgrades that actually matter. It's simple without being outdated, affordable without feeling cheap, and dependable enough to earn the respect of riders who know exactly what they're looking for. At the core is a 197 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine that uses electronic fuel injection and produces 14 horsepower with 13.8 pound-feet of torque. Braking is handled by a front hydraulic disc and a rear mechanical drum. Suspension consists of a telescopic front fork and dual adjustable coilover shocks at the rear. The wet weight is 278 pounds, seat height comes in at 32.7 inches, and the starting price is $1,800. It's one of the few fuel-injected motorcycles available new for under $2,000. The X-Pec's biggest strength is its blend of old-school simplicity and new-school convenience. Fuel injection means better cold starts, consistent performance across elevations, and no more fumbling with a choke on frosty mornings. The 5-speed manual transmission shifts smoothly, and the gear ratios are dialed in just right for both urban traffic and light trail work. For riders who want something they can count on to start every time. This setup offers peace of mind that carbureted bikes often struggle to match. Visually, the X-Pec leans into its utilitarian roots. There's no unnecessary bulk, just a clean profile with dual-purpose tires mounted on 17-inch wheels, a steel luggage rack out back, and a simple combination analog and digital dash that includes speed, fuel level, and gear indicator. Everything you need, nothing you don't. It's the kind of layout that keeps your attention on the ride instead of fiddling with settings or toggling through screens. The riding position strikes a great balance for taller and average-sized riders. With a relaxed, upright stance, the ergonomics make it easy to spend hours in the saddle without fatigue. The seat is supportive but firm, and the suspension smooths out broken pavement and mild off-road terrain without losing composure. You won't mistake this bike for a high-end adventure tourer, but you also won't hesitate to take it down a gravel road or through a patch of unpaved trail. What truly earns this motorcycle its #1 ranking isn't any single feature, it's how well everything works together. For older riders who want a backup bike, a fuel-efficient commuter, or just something to enjoy on the weekends, the X-Pec delivers without drama. The road ahead is full of choices, but for those who value practical engineering and real-world usability, this motorcycle proves that under $2,000 still gets you a machine worth riding. You don't need big money to ride bold. You just need the right machine. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're done chasing brands and ready to ride smart. This channel's for real riders, and we've only just started the journey.